Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Financial Insight Show. This is Mwalwa, your host, and I am standing here with the CEO, Managing Director of Zambia Sugar at the tail end of what has been a very interesting morning at Sarova Hotel right here in Lusaka, Zambia. Zambia Sugar this morning presented its half-year performance, and without a doubt, Oswald, that's been a phenomenal performance. But tell us a bit about what inspired the half-year performance this time around.
Thank you for having me. In terms of some of the major drivers, they are in the fundamentals of our business. Firstly, we had an 8% increase in cane supply or cane production. And we worked very efficiently to convert that additional cane into sugar, which resulted in a 14% increase in sugar production. Our sales and marketing teams were very active in the markets, and we managed to sell 18% more into the domestic market. We also had a very strong performance in the export market in terms of the export proceeds realizations as a result of the weakening of the kwacha and the higher prices in the world market that are prevailing at the moment. So all these underlying factors, which really are to do with how well we are executing our operations, were responsible for another strong performance. And all this, as you saw in the morning, translated into a doubling of our profit, which was an increase of 105%.
Absolutely. Now, Oswald, obviously this is year 3, and one of the things that we've witnessed at Financial Insight is how you have executed your strategy consistently. Despite the various headwinds that you mentioned this morning, we had energy being one of them, the drought being another. How is it possible that your team is able to maintain, and what are you putting in place to ensure that you continue to be consistent in implementing your strategy?
So I think what you see is the benefit of a strong and consistent strategy and focused execution, because you are always operating in a challenging, dynamic, volatile environment. But the fact that we have areas that we consistently focus on, such as having a sustainable cane supply, being sustainably low cost, operational excellence, and maintaining a close focus on our customers. These help us to continue to deliver despite the headwinds that we continue to face.
Absolutely. Now, one of the areas that you touched on was on the electricity issue. And obviously you did sign the power purchase agreement with ZESCO, but then you automatically went into a drought. You mentioned some initiatives that you'll be putting in place to obviously try and hedge that. Are you able to tell us about that?
Yeah, so obviously we appreciate the natural disaster that has hit the country, and we expected this negative impact because we do know that most of our power comes from hydro, and when droughts come, we are not able to produce as much power as possible. So we are very pleased that we entered into this power supply agreement with ZESCO, but unfortunately climate risks are always in the air, and I'm pleased to say that we do have some mitigation measures. ZESCO has assured us that they will be able to continue to supply us about 50% of our power requirement, and we have advanced plans to import the balance from the Southern African power pool. So we believe that we will still be able to meet our production objectives from a power supply perspective. There's always the risk that will we run out of water towards the end of the dry season. I think that's an emerging risk, but I think the investments that we've made in more efficient irrigation systems will come in handy to deal with this particular drought and mitigate the impact that it will have on our cane production.
And just to touch on that innovation, the company is making quite a huge investment around technology and innovation. How important will that be to future success and sustaining the sort of trajectory that you've been on in terms of performance?
It really goes without saying that the climate change risks are here to stay. and we have to be proactive and dynamic to invest in improving our resilience to these climatic risks. And we see the investment in more efficient technologies as one strategy, but we are also deploying other technologies such as drones, which help us to be able to really focus limited resources on areas that you need the most. Typically, you would irrigate all fields because there was no way of knowing which fields particularly need to be irrigated.
Correct.
But now using drones and infrared technology, we're actually able to see the areas that are stressed and then target limited water into those areas. That way we are able to mitigate the impacts of droughts and water shortages in the future, and that's really making us more climate resilient.
Absolutely. Now, with implementation of technology, you did mention that one of the focus areas is obviously creating a Zambia Sugar, which is a nice place to work in. Looking at you at year 3, you are happier than ever, though you did say that your hair is reducing. But will that technology implementation impact the job count at Zambia Sugar? And how are you going to ensure that you protect jobs?
Yeah, so we are really continuing to protect jobs because as we invest in, for example, we will now need drone pilots, which we didn't need before. So these are skilled jobs that we are now creating as a result of investing in technology. The jobs that are associated with production of cane, as it has been always, they will continue to be there. But we actually see some of these technology interventions bringing in more skilled and more fulfilling jobs for people in the future.
And on the supplier side, the companies that provide services for you, do you see more growth? Because as the business continues to grow, that means that there's more opportunities for the local community to participate.
Yeah, so as the company grows, we procure more materials. We are buying drip irrigation equipment, for example. We are buying drones. And all these additional materials that we buy as we expand create a multiplier effect into the economy, and we also have significant plans to continue to support the communities in which we operate, and you can watch this space in terms of some of the plans that we have.
Absolutely. And then on a final note, on the ESG issue, we did have a side conversation around that. Do you have any comment on that? Despite all the headwinds, are you meeting or ticking all the boxes around your ESG commitments?
Yes, we are. Starting with the cane production side of the business, our investments in water efficient technologies mean that we will abstract less water from river systems. So that's the E part of the ESG. We also have a new farming system that we are implementing at Zambia Sugar, which will make our cane production to be much more sustainable. Before we replant cane, we start by planting a cover crop called sun hemp. What this does is that it retains organic matter back to the soil and protects our ability to produce on our soils for many years to come. In terms of what we are doing in the factory, we are continuing to work to reduce emissions. Our process is very clean because we don't burn any coal or fossil fuels in our production. We use bagasse, which is a biomass feedstock, which is carbon neutral. But we are continuing to invest in technologies that just continue to make us cleaner. I did share our evaporator project during the session. Those are some of the investments that we are making. We have significant investments as well to reduce energy consumption in our factory, and all those contribute to our E commitments. In terms of what we are doing in the S part of ESG, we continue to play a significant part in the communities in which we operate. You have seen our corporate social responsibility activities in terms of our contribution to the cholera epidemic and helping the communities to fight the drought. One of the things that I didn't mention during the presentation is the fact that when I said that we need anything between 20 to 22 megawatts of power, the 2 megawatts of power that I'm talking about, above the 20 that we need, is actually used to pump water for the whole Masabuka community, which Zambia Sugar supplies to the whole community at its own cost. So we are continuing to contribute socially in terms of areas like improved housing, improved infrastructure. We've constructed a new road now which makes it very safe for people to drive during the dry season, during the wet season, an all-weather road for people to use. We're also looking to see if there are opportunities to start market gardening projects around our estate so that we can create small enterprises which will help people to find some economic activities to engage in. So very active on the ESG front. On the governance side, we pride ourselves as a governance-driven organization. We are listed and we are part of 2 groups, the ABF Sugar Group and the Lovo Sugar Africa Group. And we are held to very high governance standards, and we continue to deliver on that front.
Absolutely. No, Oswald Magwenzi, thank you so much for speaking to us, and we look forward to engaging with you at full year. But are the media allowed to come and visit and see the technology at Nakambala?
You are most welcome.
Absolutely.
You must just arrange with our corporate affairs team, and you will be happy to host you.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from yourself, the CEO of Zambia Sugar, Oswald Magwenzi, at the end of the presentation of the half-year results for 2024. Stay tuned for more insights and get to know.